Hello viewers, this is Anuradha Chaudhary, fitness and wellness expert from Kolkata. Today is National Epilepsy Day. Epilepsy or fits is a common neurological disorder which leads to episode of loss of consciousness in many cases. It can be easily treated if diagnosed early. However, there is a huge treatment gap. More than half the epilepsy patients are not getting proper treatment. There is a lot of stigma attached to the people with epilepsy, leading to hardship in education, jobs, and marriage. National Epilepsy Day is celebrated on 17th November every year to raise awareness about this disease. To discuss more about this, we have Dr. Sudhir Kumar, consultant neurologist, Apollo Hospital, Hyderabad. Welcome, doctor.
Thank you, Anuradha, for the nice introduction and the introduction to the topic also.
Doctor, my first question is, what is epilepsy?
Yes, I think today is one very important day where we have gathered here to discuss about epilepsy, which happens, as you told, that it's a very common problem in our community and also across the world. And the worst part is that even though it's a fully treatable disease, there is a lot of stigma attached to the disease itself and the people who suffer from it. And they're sometimes labeled as having psychiatric problems or mental disorders, and many times they are not treated. So, to coming back to your question, what is epilepsy? Epilepsy is a brain disorder where there are abnormal electrical impulses, and as a result, patients develop fits or convulsions, and many times they can become unconscious also.
Doctor, what are the common symptoms of epilepsy?
See, epilepsy symptoms depend on which part of brain is affected, and they can have various symptoms. But the most commonly what we see is that patients have this kind of jerky movements of hands and legs, which many of you may have seen, and sometimes in the movies they show. And after that, the person becomes unconscious, and this cannot be predicted. It can happen anywhere, anytime, and so and well, it can be some other symptoms also can be there. Sometimes the person can have jerky movements only in one part of the body without loss of consciousness, and sometimes abnormal like lips packing like this kind of movement, sometimes just frequent blinking of the eyelids. And then so there are all subtle manifestations, sometimes abnormal sensations in one part of the body like tingling or vibrations, and sometimes just one abnormal smell. Like recently I had a patient. She used to say that wherever I am, I can feel agarbatti smell. Even if there's no agarbatti being burned, she could smell that. And that will come only for brief periods, like 5 minutes or 3 minutes, and then go away. So this can be, there are various manifestations of epilepsy.
Doctor, what are the risks associated with epilepsy?
Yes, see, epilepsy comes in episodes. So person can have a seizure and they can be normal for several days or weeks. But during the time of epilepsy, person can have risk of injury because they don't have control on their body, and many times, as I said, they can lose consciousness. So they can fall, as if because of fall they can get head injury, they can have fracture of the bones, and sometimes when the seizures occur while they are driving, they can have road traffic accidents. For the housewives who cook, sometimes they can have seizure while they are cooking, so they can get burnt. And people who swim, they're either in the pond or lake or swimming pool, if they get a seizure during while swimming, there is a risk of drowning also. So these are the immediate risks along with the seizures. But people who have seizures for a long time, they can have decline in cognition. So many times they complain that they have forgetfulness or memory impairment, and sometimes psychiatric issues, like they are more prone to develop anxiety, depression, and even the risk of suicides also are higher among people with epilepsy.
Doctor, what causes epilepsy?
So the causes we can classify into two types. One is what is called familial or hereditary. So as we know, many diseases can come from families. Epilepsy is no exception. About 50% of epilepsy can come with people who have family history of epilepsy in their parents or other family members. In the other 50%, the seizures can be secondary. So they can have primary disease in the brain like head injury or brain strokes, infections, tumors. And sometimes when they come with the first episode of seizure, you should also look at the blood parameters. Sometimes low sodium, low calcium, low glucose can also cause seizures.
Doctor, what are the factors that trigger seizures or fits?
Yeah, the commonest thing what we see is that people who are on anti-epileptic drugs, due to some reason they stop the drugs. Either when the medicines are over, or sometimes they feel that I have been well for 6 months, 1 year. Why should I take medicines for such a long time? And sometimes women who are about to get married, they don't want to disclose to their in-laws and the husband that they are suffering from epilepsy, so they stop taking medicines. So when someone stops taking medicine suddenly, then they can have a seizure. And there are many other factors, like sleep deprivation is one of the important risk factors. So normally one needs to sleep for 7 hours every night, but if someone doesn't sleep due to late night functions or marriage functions or like travel, then the next day they have a higher risk of seizures. Somebody does fasting for a long time or high grade fever, so these could be other triggers for seizures.
Doctor, how do we diagnose epilepsy?
The diagnosis is easy and straightforward. Like in neurology, most disorders we diagnose based on the description or the history. So obviously, when the patient is unconscious, we cannot take history from the patient. So any family member who stays with the patient, they are the first source of information. We can, ask them to describe what happened, and then based on the description, make a diagnosis. And nowadays, most people carry smartphones. So instead of describing, if they have recorded an event, we ask them to show that video, what exactly happened, and then with the information gained from that, we get a lot of clues that this could be epilepsy. And for confirming, we do certain tests like EEG. Like for the heart, we have ECG. For the brain, wires are fixed on the scalp, electroencephalogram, which can record epileptic activity. And then, to look for secondary causes, as I mentioned, like stroke, infections, and tumors. In some cases, we may have to do a brain scan. And as I mentioned, those who come with the first time seizure, we should also do the blood test for glucose, calcium, and sodium, because any low levels of these can also cause seizures.
Doctor, how is epilepsy treated?
So treatment, we can classify into two parts. The first part is to give medicines to prevent further seizures, and that is called anti-epileptic drug treatment. And we have many medicines like sodium valproate, carbamazepine, phenytoin. There's a huge number, at least 15 or 20 drugs are there, based on the patient's age, gender, body weight, and whether they have lack of sleep or not, any psychiatric problems or not. We choose the drug, and then we have, based on the body weight, we decide the dose also. Important thing is that the medicines are required for a long time, at least 3 years. And then the second part of the treatment is to treat the cause. As I mentioned, there can be secondary causes in the brain, and whatever we identify based on the scan, we have to treat that, whether it's infection, tumor, or brain stroke. So that also needs to be treated. If they have problems with the sodium, glucose, or calcium, that also needs to be corrected.
Doctor, what is the long-term outcome in people with epilepsy?
It is very good. So the most important thing is they need to, come to a doctor, neurologist, get proper diagnosis, start the treatment, follow the treatment as the doctor advises. And with proper treatment, most people remain seizure free. We can say almost 80 to 85% people remain seizure free, and they can, engage in their normal personal lives, daily lives, jobs. So they can, carry on with the normal lives in almost 85% of the patients. Okay. So I think we had a very good session so far. Now now I'll turn the tables and I'll ask few questions to you also. And one of the important things is diet in any disease. So my question to you is, what is the role of diet in epilepsy?
Doctor, the ketogenic diet is one treatment option for children or adults with epilepsy whose seizures are not controlled with anti-epileptic drugs. The diet may help to reduce the number or severity of seizures. The ketogenic diet is a high-fat diet, low-carb and controlled protein diet that has been used since 1920 for the treatment of epilepsy. The diet is a medical treatment and is usually only considered when at least two suitable medications have been tried and not worked. Timely means are important. Fasting should not be done, and stimulants such as tea, coffee, chocolate, sugar, sweets, soft drinks, excess salt, spices, and animal protein should be avoided.
Okay, so I think, and then also some questions come up regarding vitamins. Certain vitamins are also linked to epilepsy. So could you share some information about that?
Yes, doctor, deficiency of thiamine, pyridoxine, and B12 can cause seizures in some cases.
Yes, so I think these are important because these are important, this can be totally treated. So if we can find out that if the people have deficiency of thiamine or pyridoxine or B12, we can, supplement them and patients can be seizure free. So now I think we'll go on to some of the general instructions, what can be given for patients. So that includes do's and don'ts. So first I'll ask you, what are the don'ts? What epilepsy should not do?
People with epilepsy should not should avoid alcohol, avoid driving for 6 months, avoid swimming, avoid stress and tension, should avoid stimulants such as tea, coffee, chocolate, sugar, sweets, soft drink, excess salt, spices, and animal protein.
And what
And
are
do,
the do's? Yeah,
yes, do.
please go ahead. Yeah.
Uh, People with epilepsy should eat food on time, sleep adequately 7 to 8 hours per day, take medicines regularly and on time, and do yoga, meditation to avoid stress and tension, and also can do mild aerobic exercises. Doctor, one
So,
more question for you.
yes.
Can women with epilepsy marry and plan pregnancy?
It's a very important question because whatever patients I come across, if a woman has epilepsy, there is an average delay of 5 years. So if you look at women without epilepsy and women with epilepsy, women with epilepsy they take 5 years longer time to get married because the moment they disclose that they have epilepsy, then the prospective grooms and the in-laws they are not interested in having a woman with epilepsy as their in their family. But it is not a, it's a very sad thing because this is a it's a disease like any other illness which can be easily treated. So the stigma is not justified. But so coming back to your specific question, so women with epilepsy they can lead a normal life. So they can get married, they can indulge in sexual activities, they can get pregnant. All these things can be done just like any other woman who doesn't have epilepsy. Just that one specific thing is, there's a medicine called sodium valproate, which can cause malformations in the developing fetus and the baby. So they should avoid this drug and also some drugs like topiramate, which can cause cleft lip and palate. But there are many safe drugs like carbamazepine, oscarbazepine. So they should consult the neurologist, take the safe medicines, and folic acid supplementation again very important because women who take folic acid will have babies without neural tube defects. So that's also important. So basically, proper counseling is required. They should take medicine. Many women, out of fear, they stop the medicine during pregnancy. When they stop, they can have a seizure, and that one seizure can cause more damage to the baby than the 9 months of anti-epileptic drugs. So that fear is not justified, and uh, and also I think one more stigma which is commonly there. People generally who have epilepsy in the family members also and friends they feel that it is some kind of mental disorder. The person has become mad. That's why this is happening. We should not treat them like that. It's a normal illness which can be treated. And I know of many people with epilepsy who have done very well in their lives. There are several class toppers, and if you go back into the literature, you'll find that many good artists and painters they had epilepsy. John T. Rhodes, we all know, he is a famous cricketer and one of the most agile fielders in cricket. He suffers from epilepsy, but you can see, he's leading a normal life. So people with epilepsy, there are many examples, in my own patients I have seen and in the world stage also you can see. So there is a lot of hope with people who have epilepsy. And, so we should not give up just because somebody has epilepsy.
We had a fruitful session where we discussed various aspects of epilepsy. Could you please summarize the main points about epilepsy?
Okay, epilepsy is a brain disease. So it is not a psychiatric illness, not a mental disorder. So like many other diseases, like we have migraine, brain strokes, it is also one of the diseases. The main symptom is that person loses consciousness and they lose contact with the surroundings, so they can become unconscious. As a result, there is risk of bodily injuries and other risks which I already mentioned. It needs evaluation by a neurologist or a good general physician. With proper history taking and some simple tests, we can make a confirmed diagnosis. And today we have good number of safe anti-epileptic drugs. If people take them for 3 years and sometimes longer, they can lead a totally normal life. So today there is a lot of hope for people with epilepsy. They should not give up. The patients with epilepsy and also their caregivers should treat it like a normal any other illness and then take the proper treatment to lead a normal life. So with this, I hope that this our message on this National Epilepsy Day, to create awareness about the disease. The viewers, you have learned something and you have gained something, and we would be happy to receive your feedback, comments as always. And I think that's all from my side. Anu, would you like to add something?
Thank you viewers for watching our video. If you have liked it, do subscribe us, and if you have any queries, please feel free to write us so that we can come up with more videos, more information. Thank you.
Thank you
Thank you,
very much.
doctor.